How's it going, guys? This is the Equity Podcast. Berek here with Joe, and we're your hosts for the podcast. Today, our main topic is going to be why we log and the benefits, why we do it. After that, we're going to talk about some Q&A, some questions that we hear a lot in the gym. Joe and I will break them down and see if we can help you out. Before we get started, though, our podcast has a sponsor, and that is Avion Custom Builders. Avion Custom Builders strives to make the journey of building or renovating your new home an exciting and rewarding experience from the initial concept and design to completion. It is our aspiration to listen to the needs and desires of our clients and exceed their expectations. The owner of Avalon is a member here, JR, and he's an awesome guy. Him and his wife are both members here. And they're also currently working on a project in and at the Canal in Chesapeake City, where two of our other members, Ed and Sarah, own that business. So it's awesome to see our community come together and work together to help each other out. All right. Thank you to Avalon for sponsoring us. If you want to learn more about them, you can go to www.avalonCustomBuilders.com. They also have a Facebook and an Instagram. All right. So today, what are we talking about, Joe?
We're talking about why we log. And one of the first things we want to think about when we think about logging is intention and reflection.
Yeah, that's a good point. Intention, when we're going to log something, you're generally, if you know you're going to log something, we're going to have more intention when we're doing it. We're going to be like, oh, this isn't just some random workout where I'm doing a bunch of squats and push-ups, right? I'm like, okay, what is the real goal of this workout? What's my intention of the workout? And a lot of times, for example, Angie, if we're doing Angie, that's a benchmark workout. Our intention is to go quick, to go as fast as we can, to run our best race. But if it's, back squats, that's a 3, we're trying to get strong, we're trying to build strength. So it might, that intention is going to change. We want to make sure that each workout has a goal or a focus or an intention. And the other thing you said was the reflection. Reflection lets us look back at what we've done and be like, what can I do differently to get me better? What did I do that I could have done better? And then let's take that lesson, that reflection, and move it into the future so I can get better. And those two things are really important. I find a lot of times people just come in and get the workout in, which isn't a bad thing, that's better than nothing. But when we add that intention and reflection, we're going to start seeing results faster.
Another one of the big benefits of logging is showing progress and staying motivated over time.
Yes. So we forget where we've come from. I started in my garage, and I remember trying to learn double unders, and they were really, really difficult. And now double unders are in my wheelhouse. But there was a time where I'd be practicing in my garage 6 a.m. in the morning, and I get all angry and throw my jump rope against the wall, right? So, and then, I'm in a workout and there's a set of 100 and I get angry that I clipped once. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang it, I get all angry. But if I can kind of see that progress from a log before where I used to have to do sets of 15, I get to see that progress, right? And especially Wodify lets us see that, we get that little gold star, and it kind of makes your day. And then once you're seeing that progress, that's what kept me in CrossFit, is seeing the progress. When you start seeing it, you're slowly getting better. It's addictive, but in a good way, right? Where you get addicted to getting better, and that's never a bad thing. And like you said, like I said earlier, it's easy to forget where you come from, and checking back every once in a while to see where you were can really help you stay motivated.
Another thing that logging is very, very helpful helpful with is seeing trends in your training, like where you're doing really, really well or areas that you need to work on a little bit more. Like I struggle with gymnastics, but I'm really good at squatting and lifting, things like that, and I can see that. I can see that when I log.
Yeah. Trends are how when coming back to the intentions and reflection, when we're looking back at our logs, we can start seeing trends. Man, I really struggle with gymnastics or whatever. And now once you identify that issue, once we identify that trend, we can start working towards making it better. We're only as fit as our weakest point, right? So if gymnastics is our weak point, putting a little bit of extra work in that is going to help us get better. And if you are just working out and not logging, not making sure you're tracking what you're doing, who knows what you're doing? You don't know. There's no record of where you've been, and you're never gonna. You're just kind of shooting in the dark, hoping that you're hitting the right stuff.
Yep.
You're not really seeing it. Now, all those. So those are like the big three. That's why we log. That's why we make it such a point whenever you come in and do class is to sign in on Wodify, log your work, so we can reflect back on it and get all of this, show our progress, see the trends, so we can keep getting better. Our goal at Equity is to make sure have a long-term version of health and fitness, right? We don't care if you're fitter in a month. We care if you're fitter in 5 years. That's where we want you to be. And logging is going to help us get there.
Yep.
Sweet. So that's our main topic. Why we log. If you have any questions on that, shoot us some questions, info@equity.fitness, and we'll answer them in our next podcast. So now we're going to move to our Q&A. Joe's actually going to be doing the heavy lifting on this one. So these are just some common questions that we get all the time. Again, if you have any questions for us based off of logging or any other general questions about health, fitness, nutrition, shoot us an email and we'll try and get to it. So our first question for you, Joe, is that jerk. Why do we always coach sliding one foot then the other, like meeting in the middle? Why do we have that front foot first?
The big thing is stability. The common tendency, especially for people newer to like the split jerk, is to just do all of the movement with their back foot and just bring it all the way forward.
Yeah.
What that tends to do is pitch the athlete forward and the weight overhead, and you can lose your weight forward pretty easily.
Yeah.
If you do front foot back halfway, back foot forward halfway, you meet the middle, you can kind of keep a stable position, and it's a lot easier to keep the weight overhead.
Yeah, that balance is such a big thing, especially when you're first learning that movement. You take that one big step, and everything just keeps going forward. And I've seen it, especially in a group atmosphere.
Yep.
You might have somebody in front of you, and then if you're doing like a weightlifting meet, you have to stay within a certain area. And if you go outside that area, it's a no rep. It doesn't count. So, keeping that balance is huge. It's you're going to make the lift or not. Cool. And it's starting it early. Building those habits early is going to help you later on.
Yep.
Switching that habit can be hard.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Question for you, Berek. If I'm sore, how do I fix that? What do I do?
We get this one all the time. Man, I am really sore. What the heck now? The biggest thing is movement. Moving is going to be your friend. The more you move, the more those muscles are going to loosen up and, be less sore. Now, that being said, if you're really sore, it doesn't matter how much you move, you're still going to be sore. But moving is going to make you less sore. And then you also have your body work, your soft tissue work. Thinking foam rolling. And it's kind of the same thing. Using a lacrosse ball, just kind of smashing those muscles. That's going to help make those muscles a little less sore. And then also some compression, like some voodoo bands and that type of stuff. Getting that blood in and out can definitely help as well. I know a lot of people like Epsom salt baths. for like when they're really sore.
Yeah.
And then honestly, the big one would be making sure we're getting fluids. If you're not getting enough fluids, that's just going to make things worse. So make sure you get plenty of fluids as well. All right, last question. Kind of have a weightlifting focus questions for you. It's kind of weird, I know. So when exactly should people be using the hook grip?
Short answer is always.
Factually correct.
Yes. But basically, any pulling off the floor besides maybe in some cases like very, very heavy deadlifting, hook grip is recommended. It's a really solid way to lock the bar in, and it helps add pounds and pounds and pounds of weight to your barbell.
Absolutely. I remember just learning it, and I'm like, but it hurts.
It hurts a lot starting.
Yeah. But it's that just like we said, we want to think long term.
Yep.
In the short term, the hook grip is really uncomfortable. It really hurts, and you don't want to do it. But thinking long term, eventually what's going to happen is you're going to get used to it, and it's only going to help you do better in your lifts, right? And also it's helpful. Like we talk mainly for the weightlifting side of stuff, right? But also like the metcons, when we're trying to move fast, just holding that hook grip in can help you move that bar as well.
Yep.
So basically, it sounds like use it.
Yep. Just hook grip. Easy answer.
Sweet. All right, Joe. Sounds good, right?
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Episode number 1. Hope to see you next month. And thank you. Have a wonderful week.